Let's create a pivotal impact. Friends in the industry. So in today's episode, I'm really excited as I speak with Dana Smith, the owner of the Mindful Trucker, and Chris Nerat, owner of Fit4Truckers, as we dive into an incredible mission that is helping change the lives of so many professional drivers in our industry, fitness and fitness for truckers. So I'm Josh Hannabury, the host of the Truck Focus podcast. If this is the first time you've ever checked out one of our podcasts, I really welcome you to our community. And all of our dedicated listeners, I just wanted to continue to say thank you so much for your investment of time. Make sure that you like this episode and share it out, as both Dana and Chris share so much incredible information. I also encourage you to check them out by visiting their website, so mindfultrucker.com and fitness4truckers.com. And again, I look forward to the impact this conversation is going to have. Let's get to it. Everyone, Chris, I'd like to officially welcome you to the podcast, and Dana, obviously like to welcome you back to the podcast. Super excited for just our conversation today as we really dive into an overall, I call it an overall mission that our industry absolutely needs, the transportation absolutely needs. And Chris, I think you and Dana collectively, you're doing some really great stuff in regards to fitness for truckers. Obviously from a physical aspect, but also the mental aspect and helping people just live overall better lives. I really resonate with this mission. So super excited to dive in today. Welcome, guys.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Yes, thanks, Josh. Very happy to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. And I know, obviously, it's where you guys are located. It is a Sunday afternoon. So yeah, I'm just super grateful for your time. So Chris, why don't you kind of start us off and give us the rundown of, okay, who is Chris, but also highlight some of your experience in the transportation industry, but also coaching in the motivational profession.
Okay, sure. So I have been in the fitness industry for over 30 years. Started out quite some time ago as a martial arts instructor, well, a student first, of course, and then an instructor. And throughout that experience, learned that I really enjoyed working, helping, and motivating people to achieve their goals, whether that be physical fitness or self-confidence or the ability to make a change. So I got my start as a martial arts instructor, and that kind of led into a personal training side job where I guess I was working as a personal trainer for about 4 years, and had a pretty successful studio, which then led to me opening up, expanding my studio into a full-fledged gym. And it was during that point in time that I started getting some phone calls from truckers, professional drivers who were on the road, and they, maybe it was a Sunday afternoon, they were coming through town, they wanted a place to work out. And I was advertising, of course, in my local area, and I get a phone call. It'd be a truck driver saying, "Hey, would you mind if I could stop in and get a workout?" And I'm like, "Sure, I want to help these guys out." So they would come in there and they'd say, "So what can I do? I want to work out, but what is it that I can do to help myself?" So I started looking at what they had available to them to do while they're on the road, and obviously much different from the gym setting. So I thought, wow, and I was receiving quite a few phone calls like this, and I thought there's got to be a lot of people out there that would love to do something if they only knew how to do it. So that kind of got me thinking. I started putting together programs that they could do with basically just body weight, or maybe like a one dumbbell or a resistance band, but very little equipment. And that is I guess the first thing that they have to have the desire to want to do something. And that's the other point, I guess, or the other part of what I do that I think makes what I do stand out a little bit, is I believe that in order for a person to want to begin to eat better, or to begin to exercise, or to begin any form of lifestyle change, they have to have the motivation to do it. And it's that was one of the things that I found that I shined at as a martial arts instructor, is being able to kind of push those buttons and get to understand what the person really wants to do, the reasons behind why they want to change. Why do they want to eat healthy? Why do they want to drop some pounds? And it's those emotions that really inspire the actions that a person takes to want to change. So I thought, wow, if I can put those things together and give them the exercise program that they need for the physical side of it, but at the same time, if I could put something together that they could basically take me with them on the road as a virtual ride along coach, that's what I started doing back in about 2014. Is I started putting together these 3 to 4 minute video messages or lessons, if you will, that would help them start and stay motivated and inspired all the way through this change process, and help them to develop the habits that are necessary to support that new change.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very, there's a couple of things there, Chris, that you mentioned, and I know, Dana, we like to go back and forth in these conversations, is you really care about people, and you're able to identify that through a couple different faucets, where I think sometimes people can get so laser focused on, I'm really good at this thing, this is it. But it was nice to hear your progression and the fact that you could relate that to an industry we really care about, obviously dealing with professional drivers. And I really align with, okay, what is your why? Why do you want to improve? Why do you want to lose some pounds? Why do you want to be just overall like healthier and happier? Like, what's your why? So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. And the other thing I just want to add to this is one of the jobs I've had back probably maybe 5-6 years ago was working in it was in a factory in the warehouse area where we had drivers coming in all the time to pick up their loads. And I had many conversations with drivers too that would just walk in that door and they're, like they're kind of limping, they've got the sore back, and, they've been driving all day, or they've been sitting, waiting for their load. And there again, it just kind of what people need help.
Yes.
They especially the professional drivers, they want to change, and Dana and I both, we want to help them make that change.
Yes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Dana. I accidentally cut you off.
Oh, no problem there. Yeah. And I mean, that's really one small aspect of it, right? Like, I mean, Chris and I have very similar missions, very similar ideals with that sort of thing, right? I mean, when I first started talking to Chris, we had many conversations through Zoom, and I've talked to other people as well in this space. And one of the things that, I had this immediate connection with Chris right away. And I thought to myself, after talking with other people, this is the guy. This is the guy that I need to partner with, because he's right along that same mission as me. He understands the industry. He's got that fitness background, that mentality of, not only the physical, but I mean, the mindset, and the why. It's all there. And I thought, this is perfect. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to him in the beginning, was I need to talk to this guy, because I saw his stuff and we had to do something together. And here we are.
Absolutely.
Hey, Josh here again. Just a quick interruption. I really want to encourage you to go check out the Ignite program. So visit Fit4Truckers.com and check out the Ignite program that Chris has built that strategically helps drivers that maybe they're stuck in the truck and they're on the road for 3 weeks at a time, or you're home every day, so you can still live a healthy lifestyle on the road. So again, that's Fitness4Truckers.com. Let's get back to the episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. I was looking for something in the fitness category to really help the people that we serve, and Chris fit the bill right there. And so we, after numerous conversations and going through the program, I personally went through every inch of his program, because I wanted to make sure that it fit the bill, and he nailed it right on. I mean, completely. Not only the physical side of it, but like what he was talking about, the mental side of it, the mindset, the why do you want to do it? It's all in there. And, and that's what we're here today for.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. And I'm a massive believer in strategic partnerships too, and you're serving a common audience from a different approach with a very similar end goal. And so, yeah, when Dana first mentioned you, Chris, and Fit4Truckers, I was just like, there you go. There you go. Yes, absolutely. I always use the term pivotal impact. And Chris, obviously you're creating those every moment of the day. So I think that's super exciting. Can you kind of give us a rundown, Chris? First off, where do people go to learn more about Fit4Truckers, your company? But also, what are some specific, you mentioned a couple of things on how you're helping, but are those specific products that you're, I guess, empowering people to take, or how are you, working with clients when they're on the road?
So fitness for the number four, fitness, the number four, truckers.com is my website. And when a person visits that website, they'll be able to see the different aspects of what the product that I provide. One of them being the exercise program, which is a 12-week professionally structured program. All the work has basically been done for the individual. They just need to follow that program. And again, it's body weight or maybe one resistance band is the only equipment needed. And then the other part of it is the 90-day motivational / inspirational section or course work that it begins with what we call the Ignite introductory part of it. It's a 5-day kind of like a kickstart motivation or kickstart to motivation section, where it really helps to peel back all the layers behind the reasons why that person wants to change. And it's really one of the most critical parts of my program. And not only is it the videos that help to open that person's mind up and get them to take a deeper dive into why they really do want to make the change, but it also has a printed sheet, I guess, if they take the time to do that. And I always strongly urge that they do. It helps them write down the goals. It writes down what they've tried in the past. Why did it fail? What do they have to do this time? And what are the consequences if they do nothing? So it sort of lights a fire and it ignites that emotion inside them to want to step up and take action. And then the rest of that program then kind of feeds off of that first week, where it talks about networking and opening up your circle of your networking circle to include those who have a little bit of the fitness mind just like you, so that you've got that company to help you move yourself along. So expanding that circle of friends and that to include those who want the same things you want. It talks about nobody's perfect, and don't try to be perfect. Just try to be better today than you were yesterday. And when you stumble a little bit, forgive yourself. Everybody does. So there's all different from the mental aspect of things. Behavioral. Geez, I don't know. There's many different aspects to change, and the 90 videos that I've got kind of hit on each one of those and reinforce them as they go along.
Hey, Josh here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Just a quick shout out to the Mindful Trucker. I'm really impressed just with all the great work that Dana's doing to really help our industry improve. I really recommend that you go visit their website, themindfultrucker.com. Well, let's get back to the episode. That's powerful.
That's one thing that I loved about the program is that you're not just going to go on there and do it. You're getting that help. You're getting that thing every day. You're getting something from us, from the Mindful Trucker, from Ignite, from Chris, from Fit4Truckers. You're getting something every day. And, that's one of the things I just love about it, is that you're not just thrown out there and say, here, go do it. Right. You have the support here. And Chris also has a Facebook page that, for the group, when you sign up to the program, you get the Facebook group, and Chris is on there regularly. I'm around, I'm on there too, periodically, and he can answer any questions that someone might have about the program, or if they get stuck somewhere. It's like, reach out to him, reach out to the people on there. Like he said, you're not alone. We're all here for the common goal to help you achieve your goals, and I know you are as well, Josh, with Truck Focus. And what you do. So, we're building this massive team of people that can be right there to hold you up and pick you right up and make your life, better through the motivational side of it.
Exactly. Spot on. And thank you for that, because yes, the Facebook is a very important part of the Fit4Truckers program, because it does have that website that allows a person to jump on there at any time, ask a question. And a lot of times I'll answer that question via text or instant message. Sometimes I'll record a live stream and do it that way. So the situation, I guess, warrants which answer they're going to get. But anybody on that group then can benefit from that.
Yes. Yeah, you guys mentioned a couple of things that really stand out, I would say, to the longevity of the success of the student or the trainee as well. And one thing, Chris, that you mentioned that I completely agree with, we're not perfect. And I don't think perfection should be the goal. I just think it's, okay, who am I today and who do I want to be tomorrow? Okay, there's the goal when we're talking physical, mental health improvements. And I think having grace, giving yourself grace when you fall back or when you fall down, that's essential, but also being empathetic with ourselves, because when we're empathetic with ourselves and we show grace with ourselves, it's a lot easier to be empathetic with others, which also strengthens the Facebook community that you're talking about. And I really align with that as well, because we have different trucker support groups across the country that's what it's for. It's to advocate for industry. It's to advocate for each other. It's a safe place. Like, you're mindful of, there's certain things I just don't allow in the group, which I'm assuming is a very similar approach, where it's like, no, this is a positive place. This is an uplifting place. This is something for people to come to because they had a really bad day at work, maybe, but they know, okay, I'm part of a community. This is keeping me going. So there's a lot of wins there for sure.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, and I do as well. I mean, if you look at some of these programs and things like that, I mean, it's hard to find specific ones. This one is specific, driver specific. And I mean, these guys are out there in their trucks, living in their trucks all the time. They're working upwards of 70 hours plus a week. And I mean, they're saying to themselves, oh my God, when do I have time to do this? I'm tired all the time. I don't have time for this. This is something they can do right in the cab of their truck. They can do it, like Chris said, with very little minimal stuff, a stretch band, maybe a dumbbell or something. And away you go. You have your cell phone, you have the communication, you have this right in the palm of your hand. So if you're sitting at a truck stop somewhere, pull it up. You got to wait for a load, pull it up and do it now. One of the things I always say is don't wait. What are you waiting for? Who are you waiting for? Right. Do it now. Start to change now. And as the product says, it's ignite yourself. It's motivation for a healthier lifestyle. Just do it. Yeah.
I think that's super powerful. So has there been situations, and Dana and Chris, I'd like you both to answer, because I think you can give common answer as well as a different approach, but do you have a repetitive question asked? How am I going to, or where do I start? Or basically like a low-hanging fruit question that lots of people ask, because that's consistent when there's lots of people across, we're talking the country, North America, that want help. And if we're talking, I want to lose weight. Is there a common question that you hear? And if you can repeat that question, but also give the answer that you would normally give to those that are listening?
Sure. I mean, one of the most common questions I get is, how do I do it? Where do I start? Kind of, one of the same. And, the answer that I tell them is you start with small steps. You start with maybe trading a bottle of water today instead of reaching for the soda or the sugary drink, or you order the grilled chicken breast instead of the deep fried version. You start with small steps, and each day you just try to improve upon that. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to change my whole life right now today, which is unrealistic. You take those small steps and you just continually improve upon them day after day after day. And once you start doing that, the small little changes, ultimately lead to big results. And in my 30 years of teaching people, there's just countless cases where that is true.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I guess I'll jump in there with the same thing there, Josh, sorry, is, I know for myself personally, one of the big things for me with fitness, I mean, I worked out in the gym for 20 years and I did it while I was trucking, but I was home a lot. I'm tired. I'm too tired. I work all those hours. I come home at the end of the week, and I'm talking about long haul drivers. They come home at the end of the week, and the first thing their partner says to them, "Oh, well, let's go out for an evening." Or, can you look after the kids this afternoon? Well, my God, I don't have enough energy for that. All I want to do is lay on the couch because I'm tired out. Well, yeah, but it's like Chris said, you don't have to move mountains. All you have to do is start with that one little thing, and I'm not, this program is kind of Chris's program and all that, and I'm promoting it, but, it doesn't have to be this one. It could be anyone. But, the first step is just reach out and do something, anything, sign up to something, go on YouTube even. They're free there, look at a video, walk out the door and go down the street and back. Just something, So that's probably one of the common questions that I've heard. I want to lose weight, but I'm too tired.
Yes.
I don't have or I don't have the time. Yes, you do. Make time if it's important to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah. Space that I live in often is when we're talking mental health and we're talking attitude, we're talking just the approach to the day, and very similar when we're thinking from a physical perspective. I think going for a bottle of water instead of going for a bottle of pop or going for a sugary drink, I think it's a clear example, because I think often I have a mentor of mine who's just like, it's not always what you're doing. Sometimes it's stop doing. And I think that's a perfect example. It's just like, you don't have to think about running a marathon. Just think about switching up what you're drinking, or have a grilled chicken breast instead of the deep fried, maybe having a small fries instead of a large fries if you feel you need that kind of thing. And it's the same with our mental health and perspective too, where like a lot of like attitude is everything. And it's like, how are you supposed to have a positive attitude if all you watch, read, and listen to is negative and aggressive and demeaning? It's like, okay, stop scrolling through Facebook before you go to bed and see how that impacts your sleep, or being mindful of the music that you're listening to, or even who you associate with. And it all ties in together, where when you're in the community and you're with people that are trying to make changes and they're giving suggestions, oh, I switched this instead of this and this happened. It could be that little trigger where it's just like, hey, I am exhausted when I come home from even a 14-hour day. That's a long day. And the wife still wants to go out and do something, or I still need to go to the grocery store, but I couldn't be bothered. So instead I grab a pizza. Like there's all of those little things where it's one step at a time, one small, I guess, exchange at a time. So I'm glad you mentioned that, both of you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I was just say, Josh, one of the things that you said there is the having yourself bombarded by negativity. Negative in, negative out. We want to talk about the positive in and positive out. So that's one of the things too, that when it comes to this program, the 90-day video messages, if a person starts their day off with that positive message every single day, it's a 3 to 4 minute video that they're starting their day positive. And it's a very simple thing. If they can just watch a 3 to 4 minute video each day, that's one positive habit that they've created then to help establish that baseline where they can start creating other positive habits.
Yes, totally. The domino effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things I wanted to add to that too. Josh, you mentioned about, the water versus the sugary pop thing, and say sometimes you got to stop. One of my mentors, Roger Hamilton from Wealth Dynamics, which you and I have talked about before, one of the things that he always says is, it's not what you say yes to, it's what you say no to. Right. So I use that a lot with my business, right? Is that going to put me farther towards my goal, or is it going to take me farther away? Those are the two questions you can ask yourself when you go to reach for that pop. Is that going to put me closer to it or farther away from it? If the answer is farther away, then say no.
Yes.
Right. The other thing is, you talk about a positive community. You're the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. Okay. So get around the people that are doing the same thing and have the same purpose and the same mission as you want. That will help uplift you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just want to mention those couple of things.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. So Chris, the question that I like asking, and it kind of comes in a place of intentionality and being focused on the impact. Because I talk about pivotal impact all the time, where the advice you're giving, it's empowering someone to make a decision to go left or to go right. That's ultimately bettering their life, bettering their situation. So do you think in the moment, or consciously or subconsciously, the impact that you're having on professional drivers, but also on the professional driver community, our industry as a whole? Because a healthier driver from a mental perspective, physical perspective, I honestly, I know it's true, is they're a safer driver. They're a better colleague. They're a better representation of a company. They're a better customer service representation. Like, because Dan and I, we just talked on customer service a couple of weeks ago. Do you understand intent, or not understand, but are you mindful, I'll use that word, of the impact that you're having in these conversations when you're training professional drivers, when you're building training programs, on the full implications that they're having? Is that something that you really like relish in that space and flourish in that space? Or is it just a byproduct because you really care about people? How do you kind of navigate through that?
No, I mean, I definitely am mindful of the conversations and the direction that I am helping them move to and empower them to go to. It's it's very intentional in what I do with drivers. It is to just, first I listen so I can come from a point of understanding, and then help them, encourage them to move down a road that's best for them, where health and fitness is going to be part of that new person.
Nice. I think that's awesome. And Dan, I know we talk about this quite often, and I know this is a very common space for you when if it's creating and living out day to day in different spaces in our industry. But I want to flip the question back to you anyway, because I always value your response. But how do you see the intentionality of the Mindful Trucker and partnering with Chris, Fit4Truckers, and the Ignite program? How do you see that benefiting who you're currently serving?
Well, I mean, this is an overall, I guess, fitness, lifestyle, nutrition program. Okay, so we've been talking about, it doesn't just include exercise, right? So when you look at that overall, and you attach it to the trucking industry, what I see here is it's like a domino effect. If you have someone who's saying, I want to lose weight, I want to get healthier, I want to feel better. So right off the bat, you can imagine, if you look at from a company owner perspective and say, oh my goodness, I've got a guy here that wants to get into fitness and really look after himself. How does that translate to the owner? Well, the owner's going to sit there, and the insurance companies will say, oh my goodness, this is fantastic, because when he does that, his mindset is going to change based on the physicality of what he's doing. It's going to start changing his brain chemistry, right? So the brain chemistry starts changing. Now you can think better. You can make more rational decisions. Therefore, you're going to be safer. You're going to be happier. You're going to feel better. And the whole thing is going to be sort of a big ball of positive energy that's just going to be thrown towards the company and your job. And I mean, how much better are you going to perform your job when you feel that way versus tired and run down all the time, right? It's a huge benefit to companies, huge. And just the driver and how they feel. And if you look at that translating to the company owners and how that's going to have that ripple effect out to other drivers, the customers, we talked about customers there last time. When you show up at their door and you're feeling 100% and you're positive, and my God, I mean, how is that shipper receiver going to take that? He's just going to be overwhelmed by that. You're smiling, you're happy, and you're like, yeah, I love my job, or today's a good day. I'm having a great day. It's going to ripple effect into that company, into the customer, and that's going to translate back to the company, and therefore, insurance companies are going to love it because the driver's fitter, he's going to last longer. And again, we talk about the 70-hour week. The driver isn't going to be near as tired at the end of the week, right? So it's just a huge positivity and positive move for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. So you mentioned something, and Chris, if it's yourself that wants to answer, or Dana, but from a sign up perspective. So is it, I'm an individual professional driver. I go to the website. It's fitness4truckers.com. I sign up myself, or do companies, do they have the opportunity to sign up their professional drivers as well?
It can go either way. The individual driver can sign up, or the company can sign up as a corporate member. And then anybody that they designate, there's a code that they would get. And then the individual drivers of that company would input that code, and they would fall underneath that company's membership then. So it can go either way. We do offer corporate rates.
Awesome. Okay, that was the answer I was hoping to hear, because I think anytime you can eliminate an quote unquote an excuse or a reason not to, I think is really powerful. But then when we're talking, and if you'd rather people just go to the website to visit, or if you can answer the question, I'm cool with both. But from a cost perspective, what's the breakdown of a cost per day? Is it, I'm assuming, pennies to the dollar, $1 a day kind of thing, or what's the cost for a day? How does that work monthly?
About $1
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, pretty reasonable. If a person wants to change, that's less than a cup of coffee. So.
Yeah, awesome. I agree. I mean, it's very affordable. I mean, what's coffee now? I think $2.50 or something like that, or two something a cup. I mean, instead of the coffee, do this. How much better are you going to feel, right? If companies want to put this into their wellness program that they already have, again, Chris had said that there are corporate rates for that, and it can be blended right into what they're already doing, right? So the other thing too, you talk about fitness4truckers.com. You can find it on there. You can also find it at the Mindful Trucker as well, mindfultrucker.com. Either or, doesn't matter. And we're all in this together, so we work together on this. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, and I'll make sure to include the links too. I just think that's important information, because you want people to be excited for signing up. And I live in the realm of compliance, transportation, safety, health, and safety. I deal with the workers' compensation boards, the insurance brokers, carriers. I understand those languages and those conversations. And when we're talking about eliminating fatigue, if we're talking about customer retention, if we're talking about actually being able to complete a pre-trip because it doesn't hurt to bend down to actually check like stroke travel, like there's so many wins there that I think just the common person may not think about. The everyday, I don't know what goes into putting like the process of putting wheel chocks on both sides of your trailer before you drop it. Like that could be strenuous if you feel like, okay, if I have a 53 plus the 20 some length tractor, that's 100 and something feet I'm walking. You got to be kidding me. I'm only going to do one side. It's like, well, that's customer retention. That's safety for that forklift operator. Like, so there's a lot of wins there that I think can be highlighted through this conversation and this entire journey that I get super excited about. So I just really appreciate the depth that we're able to go to.
What I think too, in terms of recruitment, these a lot of new drivers entering the transportation industry right now, they're going to see a company that takes care of their drivers' health and wellness as a perk, a benefit that they're going to want to be a part of that. They don't, if they go down the road and they go to two equal companies, and one of them's like, you're kind of on your own. The other one says, hey, we got this Fitness for Truckers and this Mindful Trucker business going on. We're going to help you physically, mentally, spiritually. And they're going to see that as a heck, I'll go with this company. Yeah. So I think companies that are really need to open their minds and get involved.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all the culture. The new drivers coming in today, they're not looking for the same thing that the older drivers are looking for, right? We're all in it for the same reasons, I think, but it's a different mindset. It's a different way of doing business now. And so these little perks and things and anything that you can do to help your driving force is only going to be a plus and a benefit to your driver recruiting, your retainment, and all of that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think the more humanized we make our industry, and you make the hiring process, the retention process, just the relationship process, the stronger off we'll be. And Dana, you're absolutely right. It's no longer just give me the miles and where's the closest truck stop, like that. I'd say that mentality is dissipating very fast, and that's North America. That's not just here in Canada. So I think as we just continue to introduce different culture, as we continue to introduce quote unquote easier to use equipment, automatic versus a standard is a very different type of drive. There's lots of these things where it's like, okay, I care about my comfort and my family cares about my comfort. And my wife doesn't like when I come home grouchy because I had a really crappy day. And again, I think we could all speak from some form of our experiences to say, you know what, like our significant others, they care about us as people a lot more than I think they care about just the paycheck. And 70 hours, honestly, that's 5/14. And being in the oil field, that didn't matter. And I remember coming home and wanting to sleep for 3 or 4 days, but you had other responsibilities. And it's like, okay. So yeah, there's a lot of wins here. And I'm really excited just to be part of the voice. And because I really advocate for this part of your mission for both Chris and Dana. I think just the direction, the long-term benefit for our industry, there's so many wins from so many different faucets. So I'm just super grateful for our time. This is sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Same here. I mean, we're all in this together, right? We just want to help everybody and make it a better place to be, right, for everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. So
absolutely.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say I agree 100%, and very thankful for being able to be on the Truck Focus podcast here and getting to meet you and Dana, and together our missions all seem to be very much aligned, and it's great. I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm super grateful too. I'm glad we can make it work, like I said, on a Sunday afternoon. So just with that in mind, as we do come to an end, Chris, were there any final thoughts that you wanted to share, but also give a recap again of where people can go for Fit4Truckers for the website?
So again, it's fitness with the number 4truckers.com, as well as they can go on Facebook and go to Fit4Truckers, and that'll be my, their Facebook page. And as far as final thoughts, geez, kind of like I said earlier, nobody's perfect. If you're looking to make a change, if you're, whether it be for your family, your kids, your grandkids, your health future, now's the time to do it. There's life is too short not to feel your best. And if you can take that step today, tomorrow, that'll be a little bit easier. The day after that, it might become a little easier. And there's no reason why you can't.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Sorry, I think you got off there again, Chris. Sorry about that.
Oh,
yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's true what he's saying. I mean, it's just, like take that first step, and it does get easier. Like I said, I mean, I drove truck for 30 years and I worked out in the gym for 20 of that. And I found that the more I did, the more I wanted to do, and the better I felt. And it just kept getting better and better and better. And, I mean, I kind of went the other way, I guess, with fitness, is that, I was like a toothpick. I was 6'1" and 140 pounds. I mean, I was pretty thin, right? So I went the other way trying to gain weight. And that's what really helped me. I went right up to 195 pounds at the end of it, and I had a lot of motivation after that, let me tell you. So driving the truck after that, and while I was doing that, was just a lot easier, especially with doing nights too, right? I mean, I was running a lot of night stuff, and I had no problem staying awake because I was eating a lot of energy foods, a lot of water, and I really, really felt at my best. So I encourage anybody to just do something and get out there and do it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, with the same question there, Dana, where can people go again to learn more about the Mindful Trucker? And as we come to a close, were there any final thoughts that you would also like to share?
Well, they can go to the mindfultrucker.com, and we have a website there. They can go to all our social media right off the website. If they have any questions, they can contact me, I guess, through the site. And as far as final thoughts, like I said, I'm extremely excited about this program. It is new. Chris has worked on this for a long time to get this just right, and going through it together. I feel that I'm not going to endorse something that I don't feel is right. And this to me is right. It's got all the components that you could want and need. to make that change for yourself. So I just encourage everybody to at least check it out. And if you're looking for that little change, then go for it, because we're all here to help you and support you.
Yes. No, I think that's awesome. And honestly, Chris and Dana, I do really appreciate, like I've mentioned, you guys just hopping on the podcast and just the continuous impact that you're having. I'm super grateful anytime I can connect with industry leaders that really care about the people side. And it's not always just about the transaction side. I think that's super important just for the longevity of our industry. So I really appreciate you both taking the time to hop on. Definitely recommend you go to Fit4Truckers.com and themindfultrucker.com. Of course, the links are in the show notes. And yeah, check out the Ignite, check out the process, and become part of the community. I really, really support and advocate for what you guys are doing. So thank you so much again. I really appreciate your time. Dana, Chris, honestly, thank you so much for all the value that you shared in today's conversation as we dove into the incredible mission that you guys are on to help transform professional drivers' lives with Fit4Truckers, but also how you're strategically working together to further the impact. So to our listeners, I encourage you to tell us in the comments, what was the biggest takeaway you received from today's episode? Also, I encourage you to send us a question directly if you have a topic that you would like discussed on a further episode. So I encourage you to connect both with The Mindful Trucker and Fit4Truckers by visiting their websites, themindfultrucker.com and fitnessfortruckers.com, so you can learn more about their missions, but also to sign up for their programs. Super awesome. So Chris and Dana, thank you so much again. I really appreciate your time. And before you leave, I do ask that you like this episode and share it out, as I feel that we had so much value in today's conversation, talking about just the impacts of working on our mental health, but also our physical health, and how there's small actions that we can take each day just to improve them both. So again, thank you so much. As always, let's create a pivotal impact. Bye.